Okay, today is Tuesday. Beautiful day. You can't see it. I guess you see the sky. Beautiful sky. Not a cloud, a little bit of breeze. A little bit stormy last night, a little rain blew through and some lightning and stuff, but not bad. But and you probably in the background you see my truck with the hood up on it. Battery charge on it. Heidi's fault. When she got out of the truck, she didn't close the door good. It left the light on and I didn't notice it. And this morning it just didn't want to get going. So I got a video we're going to do. And I'm going to show you something for a few minutes and let you kind of get adjusted to it. There's going to be some of you want to laugh and make jokes and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to let you get all that out of your system before I get into the video. And I know how you are. I know when I did the cow thing, the ear tag, you guys laughed for a week. I mean, just laughter. Now we know why we don't see Pawpaw's pictures in art studios. Yeah, now you know. If you go to an art studio, I guarantee you, you're not going to see nothing with Pawpaw on it. But I'm going to show you this, so please go ahead and get it over with. I don't mind you laughing. You're not going to bother me, not one bit. This bunch here laughs at me all the time. I don't know why. Here we go. No, not the dog food. Now, I know you're saying, Pawpaw, Porky Pig don't look like that. No, Porky may not, but a Piney Wood Rooter does. His ears may not stick up, but I need those ears to stick up like that so I can show you something. Yeah, I know. Go ahead. I'm going to wait for a minute for y'all to get through you laughing. Calling your neighbors, saying, oh, looky here. Look what I saw. Calling your kids up, getting them out of bed. Come look. Well, that's my version of a Piney Wood Rooter. Now, these things, and this one here is not, but they're dangerous. And they've been known to eat people. They'll eat anything they can get down on the ground. They'll eat it. And in this video, I'm going to tell you a story about some. And kind of a sad thing. Not bad. It didn't turn out bad, but it could have if I hadn't been there. But anyway, what we're going to talk about today, and a friend of mine, Ronnie Neal, over in Louisiana, and I've been talking about this for a while. He's very familiar with. We grew up about the same, not together. I've never met Ronnie, but we conversed back and forth about things we saw growing up. And he's been there with the branding, he's been there with the ear tagging, he's been there with what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to talk about ear marking. Ear marking. Come here, kid. Well, get over here. Look at this, is my assistant. Come over here, my baby. Come here, Pawpaw. Well, I know it. Those are rocks. I know we don't go throwing rocks. You're going to be a rock chunker. Come here. Come here. Come to Pawpaw. Girls. Those are goats. We'll go riding in a minute. Oh, she sees the mule out there. In a minute. She's going to get me completely off track of my video. I'm still cleaning out my storage room, guys, so don't hold that against me. I don't do a lot real fast. I just do a little bit. I'm just steady. I'm steady at everything I do. I don't jump in there and jump out. I get in there and I just hang with it till I get it done. Oh boy, I'm gonna be stuck with her today. Come back over here. Come on. Come on. You get on ants or something. Come to Papa. Girls never have listened to me. Just they don't listen. They don't listen. See? Come here, I'll fix it. They do not listen. My daughters never listen. My granddaughter, Breezy, never listened. And now I got great-granddaughters that don't listen. There comes her daddy. There's the pond man. Hey, Bubba.
What's up, Bob?
I told her not to come out here. She had ants on her feet. Anyway, my story goes, earmarking. And Ronnie and I have talked about this, and I'm going to do it today. I'm going to give you a demonstration how they marked ears with the wild hogs in the woods. And I'll tell you a couple of stories about wild hogs. All right, I'm going to cut this thing off. You guys get through your laughing. Get it out of the way. Yeah, I had to identify what it was. It's a pig. Yep. Let's get it. Well, I don't know how much pig video we're going to get done today. I've got stuck. I got stuck with this little girl. The minute she gets here, she starts hollering for her pawpaw. Pawpaw, say pawpaw. Yeah, Dustin said they drive up, she sees, says pawpaw, pawpaw, pawpaw. Gets out of the car and here she comes. She just got a little coda in the house. And yeah, that's not a bull, that's a bear. See, y'all see a boy out here. Yeah, that's a donkey. Don't call him a donkey, okay? Don't say donkey. Do not call him a donkey. And that's not a bull, it's a goat. Her name is Sophie. And they've had breakfast, he's been brushed, and all the other goats over in the corner. Along with a little girl. She's out there listening. I've been running acting crazy. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. All right, now I'm going to go down and check on that beehive, just see that bee trap, see if we got any visitors yet. Been a pretty day for them. May still be a little bit cool, maybe. I'm going to turn this off for a few minutes. Check the big tree. Oh, big boy. Here you go, Billy. No, I do not have no treats. Don't follow me. What? What are you saying? All right, there's no activity here at all, and it's noon. No activity. Been here for what, 3 or 4 days? We'll keep watching it. We'll wait about another week, and we'll rebait it. Put some more bait in it, or refreshing the bait. Say it that way. But normally by now, if there was bees around, you'd have some kind of activity. All right, we're heading back home. Try to drive through the sand here, a little deep. tractor and got him, possibly Lester may have, Lester Daniel 1, got him a big scoop of sand. Yeah. All right, baby girl, hang on, we're going up the hill. Woohoo! Yeah! Heidi's having a ride down here beside my feet. Got a little girl that took her spot. She's having to stand in here on the floor. Hi, Dad! Hey! Hey! Are you being good? Hop off that. Are you being good, buddy? I gotta talk to Ivan. You hang on. Ivan, I want you to be good, son. Okay? You can be good. You can be a good boy. Oh, he don't want you, Miracle. He does not want you over here beside his pawpaw. Tell her, Ivan, that's my pawpaw. That's my pawpaw. He's determined not to let her over here beside this fence. Beside his pawpaw. He loves his pawpaw. And his pawpaw loves him. It upsets him for those goats and this cow to mess with his pawpaw. Even though they're his people got to stay in line. They can't act bad. You won't allow it. I ain't gonna allow it, baby girl. He ain't gonna allow you to love when he's around. See, here it comes. You gotta move on. You gotta move on. He's jealous. Ivan's jealous. That beautiful green tree. Are you ready, baby? Say pawpaw. 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 That's right. Pawpaw. I want you to go home and you tell Jesus, say pawpaw, pawpaw, pawpaw. Pawpaw, pawpaw, pawpaw. Okay, all right, we'll make her mad. That's right, it's pawpaw, pawpaw, pawpaw. Huh? Say pawpaw, pawpaw, pawpaw. Pawpaw, pawpaw, pawpaw. I love this little girl. She's gonna be my partner, I'm afraid. That's gonna be scary. Oh, good. Y'all be good now. Okay, folks, now, y'all through laughing, we'll get back on our video. Hogs in the wild, back when I was a boy growing up, people claimed them, or they claimed ownership. And to do that, they had to mark their hogs. They had to mark, and each person had their own mark. And all these old timers around here, they could tell you their mark over the phone and people would understand what they were talking about. My dad's mark was called upper left crop split, or with the split, lower right notch. Yeah, upper left crop with the split, lower right notch. Now, to someone that know what they're talking about, that'd be Greek. It's like, well, I don't know what that means. So I'm going to show you on this replica here, this great drawing I have of a pig, what that particular mark meant. Now, I'm going to tell you how they did it. It was bloody. It was not, did not kill them. It didn't last forever. Almost like a brand, except for it was done on the ears. And what they did, they'd have a sharp knife, they'd catch their pig, and I'm not gonna do it with a knife, I'm gonna use scissors so you just see what it looked like. And on this paper, sharp knife, they catch that hog, hold him down, and then put their mark on those ears. And it was permanent. It wasn't gonna go nowhere. The ear wasn't gonna grow back, depending on how the mark was. And each person had their mark. And they would go out in these big woods where that big subdivision is, and even back here on the river too, and they'd build trap pens. These are pens to be certain, just different sizes. Some are big, some are small. Sometimes 12 by 12, sometimes even bigger, sometimes smaller. And they put like a trap door with a spring loaded, where it was, you know, with a burlap bag with some corn in it tied to a string. And when it pulled, when these hogs started coming in that trap with that gate open, it started pulling on that bag, it would pull a pin out of that gate. It would be tied to a string tied pin to the bag. And then that gate was slammed to behind the hog. He was trapped. He couldn't get back out. Sometimes there'd be one pig in there, might be a dozen. And then they would come and check their traps daily. If they came to a trap and there was a sow, an old mama hog, and had their mark, and she had a bunch of little pigs, or pigs with her, that was, you know, nursing her, you knew they were her pigs, then they would get in there and catch those pigs and mark them also with the same mark. If there was a big pig in there, a grown hog, unmarked, that's free game. They could butcher him, they could mark him, they could take him home, they could go sell him, whatever. If they marked him, he become their pig. And little boy pigs that didn't look very good, they would neuter them and turn them back out. Then later on, they get ready for some meat. They want to butcher one, they go down there and find one that marked had been neutered. That's the one they would butcher. They'd dispatch him right there in the woods and bring him home and butcher him. So, but there was hundreds, guys, hundreds of hogs running through these woods. Hundreds, maybe thousands. And they were in herds. It was not unusual to see 30 or 40 hogs in one group. And you go out in the woods, you can see hogs everywhere. You can see where they'd been. They'd root the ground up horrible. If they got into your pasture, they could literally destroy a hay field or corn crop almost overnight. They'd tear corn down and take one bite out of a ear of corn and move on to the next stalk, tear it down. And it was ruining all this corn. So everybody that tried to grow a crop had hog dogs. Dogs that would run a hog, bay a hog. Some of them could take a hog down. And we did too. We had a bunch. Several of them. You know, my dad would think if a dog started barking, they would know if it was hogs coming into the cornfield. You couldn't see them. If the dogs started barking, my dad turned them dogs out, and away they'd go through that cornfield and they'd run them hogs off. But sometimes at night, they'd come into the cornfields and tear stuff up, and my dad'd be at work, whatever we didn't know, and really do some destruction. But when they passed the stock law in 1960, everybody had to go into the woods and get their hogs out. Couldn't be no more wild hogs running free. So everybody went in and set their traps up, and they started catching hogs and taking them to sale barns and selling them or butchering them, whatever they wanted to do with them. Or they could take them to their own home and keep them in a pen. But it's hard to keep a wild hog in a pen. My brother Riley has caught wild hogs over the years on his leases and bring them home, put them in pens. And I've seen some climb up over the fence like a cat, climb out. And the way they go. They can be crazy and they can be dangerous. Now, I was going to tell you a story before I mark this pig. We're fixing to mark this pig. We're going to put a upper left crop with a split lower right notch in this pig. That's my dad's mark. And everybody had different marks, and everybody, they could tell you their mark with these different kinds of terminology like crops and notches and splits and, and all kinds of stuff. These hogs will eat anything in the woods, anything. They can find a baby deer, goat, whatever. And they can get it down, they're gonna kill it and they're gonna eat it. They're gonna eat dead stuff. People in the woods will go out and if they could capture one, they want to bring him home and bush him, they could capture him alive and bring him home and put him in a pen and what they call clean him out. They'd feed him corn for a while. And after they cleaned him out, got all that old bad stuff he'd been eating out of his system, which it probably didn't affect the meat, but it may have. Then they would go ahead and butcher the pig. I got to check on my little. There you go. You know, as a boy, I used to hunt with my dad. I was just a little guy. And he'd saddle up our old horse, old Jim, big horse. Get his rifle and get a burlap bag with some corn in it. And I'd climb up behind him. And we'd take our dogs, we'd ride off out where the subdivision is now. We'd have to go far, and them dogs they'd find a batch of hogs. And they'd start baying them, which they kind of just going around and around a big circle, keeping them in a batch, you know, keeping them from running away. And we'd ride up to them. My dad takes some corn out of that burlap bag and kind of scatter corn, and the hogs would kind of take a bite too and keep looking. He'd find one with our mark or an unmarked one. Like I said, unmarked was free game to anybody. But if you try to find one with our mark, and that he would shoot it, and they call the dogs off, and all the other hogs would run away. And we'd get the intestines out of it right there in the woods, and tie that hog up on the saddle, tie it on there, and then he'd walk and lead the horse, and I'd walk along with him, and come home and butcher the hog. My grandpa did the same thing. My great-grandpa did the same thing. My great-grandpa would do that, bring the meat home and cure it, soften it down, all that kind of stuff, smoke the ham and stuff, and then about once a month, he'd take a big load of pork to Cleveland on his wagon, and that's where them old cotton scales I'll show you one day. I don't know if you can see them right now. Yeah, I got his old cotton scales. He weighed meat, and like once a month they have almost like a farmer's market there in Cleveland. And we're talking back in the 1800s, and all the farmers would come from all around bringing their produce or whatever they raised, and people there in town would come and buy it off the wagons. And my great-grandpa had regular customers that come for his pork. It was wild hogs. And they all do it, but he took good care of it. He'd smoke it and salt it down anyway, and they'd buy it by the pound or by the shoulder, by the ham, whatever. And if he had excess produce like corn or something out of the cornfield or vegetables, he'd take them too for a little bit of cash flow. And but it was just a tradition all through old East Texas, and I'm sure over in Arkansas where Ronnie lives, all this stuff probably done the same way all around. Maybe up north, I don't know. But so that's the way my dad would do it. And then modern days comes along and people start setting up these traps. They trap them and they do the same thing, but out of a trap. Pigs in a pen. And but it was an honor system, these guys. They would always honor another guy's mark. They wouldn't try to take his marked pig or sell it to butcher or whatever. But it was agreed upon with all of them. An unmarked pig was free game. It was just okay. And a sow with the little pigs, not to mark those little pigs unless you put the mark that was on that sow on there. And that's the way they did it. And they would even call someone and say, hey, I got one of your sows, a bunch of pigs in my trap. And give you an opportunity to go out and mark your pigs before they turn them loose again. So people was really good with each other. But then come the stock laws, and you had to get rid of all that kind of stuff. That's when all the cattle had to be sold and no more big roundups. They had to come into pastures and your own property and stuff. So I'm going to mark this pig. I told you the mark. Upper crop left, or left upper crop with a split, and lower right notch. And that was my dad's mark. Never forget it. And everybody had their own. So I'm going to turn this camera around and show you the mark. And I got one little story I'm going to tell you about wild hogs, even when they've been domesticated. And then I'm going to close this video off. All right. Okay, I'm not for sure if Mama Cat has come over to volunteer to be marked, but keep from getting in trouble with Gigi, I'm not going to mark her. All right, remember the upper left crop. Upper left crop. Crop the upper left. This is the left. You crop it by cutting the end off. Now that's cropped. That pig left ear has been cropped. Now, my dad also put a split. Upper left crop with a split. And it was just like that right there. Okay. Upper left crop with a split or a slit. Then on the right lower notch. It's the right, here's the lower. They put this the notch. Get that out. That was a notch. That was my dad's mark. Everybody had a different one. Some had crops on both ears, notches on both ears, slits on each ear. There's all kinds of crazy stuff. But everybody had their own mark, and that's called ear marking. Some people did their cows the same way. And the old Brandons, they bring them in with old big Brandons, and they'd mark their calves the same mark they use on their hogs. And not always, not all of them did. Most of them just branded and turned them back out. They didn't feel like they needed both. The purpose of doing both, I'm not really for sure. Maybe there's a phrase somebody might try to change their brand. I don't know. Maybe that was a fear they had. Not for sure. So I'm going to finish this off. The story I'm going to tell you about the pigs, I'm going to save that for another video by itself. This video is getting a little bit long, and a lot of folks don't like long videos. It's a little bit graphic too, so it may be I should not even tell it, but I do have one to tell you, seriously, that is so funny. And I'm not going to say I'm going to do it today, but I'm going to do it in the next few days. And about my boys and pigs. Yeah, and pig. Oh, they deny it. Yeah, just like the canoe ride. They denied it, but it's true. So, I mean, they're ashamed of themselves, and I understand that. You know, when you do something, you're ashamed of yourself, you're not going to admit it. You're just going to try to brush it off as, you know, oh, that's just bullcorn or whatever. You know, you heard that before. All right, I'm going to close this up. I've got lots of work to do here. Part of this video is not only just about the pigs, but it also had my little running mate with me, and Heidi. We had to go for some rides. I had to take her for several rides a day. All right, catch you guys later, and I love y'all, and take care. I got to get back to clean up out that storeroom.